Hello everyone, this is Johannes.
And this is Cinema.
And you are watching Board Gaming Ramblings.
And today we are taking a look at Stevens.
In this game, you are a glass blower trying to blow glass all over the place and getting the glass and investing in different local companies, getting contracts and doing Euro stuff. Because the theme here, we don't care about theme. We don't talk about theme here. Let's talk about the game. In this game, you have two choices on your turn. You can either take a cube. If you take a cube, you will activate the action depending on where you took the cube from. If you take it from here, you will be able to take a contract. If you take it from here, there's supposed to be more cards. We just set it up so it would be available to see everything and the symbols, just to make it clear.
Yes.
If you take it from here, you will be able to invest in local businesses like we have done over here. And if you take cubes from here, here, or here, you will activate all the professions of all the players' colors in that row. The other thing you can do is to place out the professions. You will then take one of the professions out here. Depending on where you take it from, you will place it either on this side or the other side of the board. And you will unlock one of your discs here that will unlock different abilities, or for example, the possibility to move farther on this favor track. You're going to continue doing that until two of these are empty. When that happens, there's a reset where you will move this, you will put some new cubes out in the empty spaces, you will reset all these spaces, you will trigger all of your local businesses, which you will have to exploit the dunes and the woodland critters, getting some resources to place back into the local businesses to get bonuses, and you will be able to pay resources that you have gained to score contracts that will score your points at the end of the game. And that's basically what you're going to do. When this, which is going to move 5 points backwards every time, when they cross, so somebody gets more points than where the cannon is, that is going to trigger the end of the game. You're going to play one more round and one more reset phase, and then the player who has the most points, which you get from the contract, you get it from owning these different professions, you get it from final scorings you have triggered here, and the player with the most points is going to be the winner of Stevens.
Stevens feels like a very classic Euro game. It is like very simple systems, but at the same time, it is depth here.
Yes.
So, as you said, it's really only two options. Take a cube or put a disc on a new job.
Yeah, profession.
But the timing and the interaction and when to do the things, when to take the cards, maybe you want a card that I really want, that is where the thinkiness of the game really comes into play.
So as I said, there's two different things you can do, but there's many options for reasons to do the things. So you can activate, so one of the things that can happen in the game, which did happen, is that somebody tried to have a monopoly on a row. Because depending on the cards you get here to get the cubes, you know kind of where you can place them, because depending on the colors and the variation of colors you have, you can place them different places. So, for example, Sunniva wanted to go with a strategy where she got a lot of accessories and then try to get 5 points for each set of them, which you got like 7 sets. And then you try to place a lot of cards here. So the other players should then try to get into that row as well. But there can only be, now we have unlocked an ability, which means we can have the same number. But in like a normal game situation, you could only have less numbers of cards here and less numbers of cards again than there. So again, this is kind of illegal if you don't have the special ability. So there is just like a lot of interaction.
Yeah,
because you can't let the other player just do what they want.
Yes, because when you grab a cube from here, not only are you deciding what cube you will get, because you need this, for example, to fulfill some of the contract. So that's a reason you want to take specifically this cube. You also activate every single one of these cards. These could belong to the other player. For example, last time I had a contract that really needed blue or green, I don't remember, and I didn't have any jobs at green. So if I were to activate this, I would basically activate all your actions and I wouldn't get a thing.
And also, when somebody has placed out a card, if it's a good card, you can kind of leech on that to place on the other symbol, which is not going to score you any points, and it's going to score the other player 1 more point. So you're kind of giving up points, but you are unlocking and you are getting bonuses. And for example here, when yellow player has gone both of these, there's a high chance that yellow player wants to activate this. So you might want to go in there so you also get some activation when the yellow player activates it. Really enjoyable. You also have These where you will get contracts, and the timing of this, everything here is very, these are straightforward contracts, paying resources, paying accessories. These also, some of them you need to pay down here, and the less of this you have paid during the game, you will get more points at the end of the game. So many different things to think about with that one taking of a cube. You could also take more cubes, and later in the game, if you manage to take 3 or more cubes, you could also activate an empty furnace here.
Yes.
So you can, even though Sunima might have a lot of things here, I could take 3 and activate something else to both get the cubes, deny her from getting it, and getting another action. And then you have the other thing, placing this out.
Yes, and this feels like a big part of the game, trying to choose the best final scorings that you want to. You always have to start with this basic scoring, 1 point at the end of each reset phase, but then you can score for a variety of different things. You can also unlock these so you can actually move higher on this track. And these are really good bonuses. For example, it lets you break the rules for placement. It makes cards cheaper for you, and this lets you spend
2 of the same.
Yeah, to have a cube on the color that you didn't have, which would have helped me get that green that I really wanted.
Yes.
And also, you could take 2 of these cards at the same time, and all those things seem like equally important. And it's always a struggle being like, oh, I really need both of these, which one should I do first?
This is not a game where it's gonna be, oh, this game I'm gonna unlock very different things than the last game I played, because you might unlock, like one player, last time we played, unlocked every single thing.
Yes.
So depending on how you play, but you're not gonna be like, oh, I only played 2 cards, because then you would have a problem doing other things. So it's more about the order of things you do. So that gave us to the next point, which is there is multiple paths to victory. The last game we played, a 3-player game, was everybody did very different things to get to the point, and at the end there was only a 9-point difference in the final scoring, but there is not a lot of variability. Like, you are doing the same kind of things, the systems are the same. It's more about the interaction, how it pans out, that makes each game gonna feel different.
Yes, absolutely. And the game has a good length to it. It says 30 minutes per player on the box, and that has been correct for all the times we played it. So I think that is spot on. And also I think that it's like, as you said, there's not a lot of variability, but I feel like you could have I felt like the games that we played, how it plays. For example, one turn or a round that we played, these spaces were very popular, so these were emptying out a lot of times. But then last time we played it, we did this very few times.
One thing that is problematic, especially we played with a color deficient person, it's hard to see the colors of some of the symbols, especially on the cards. And even if you can see all the colors of the rainbow, it's still kind of hard. Like when you sit here pretty close to it, it's not that bad, but then it's over there, it's harder. Some of the symbols here for discarding things are a bit small. It's not a problem if you have a good eyesight, but if you don't, it might be like a little hurdle to get to see the different things, the colors of the things.
The cards are the colors here are a little bit similar. Also the green and the blue. So
I mean the green and blue and the purple, the pink and the orange.
The yes.
So who do you think is gonna like this game?
I think if you like classic Euros, this could, I feel like this could have been released 10 years ago.
Yes.
Or 20, I don't know, time.
But 1500
this
years
is like a
ago.
classical Euro game. So if you like those kind of games, I think you should look into this.
It has a low rules overhead, so it's like a medium game, but you can very simply get into it. Like, you can teach the game in, I would think, after you've thought a couple of times, I think you can teach it in like under 10 minutes, and you can get into it. Playing it in, if you're 3 players, play it in 90 minutes. A very nice length of game, and also the decisions are interesting but not complicated. I will say that it has that, as you said, a classic Euro feel. So for many people who haven't played the older Euro games, will probably play this and feel like it's very fresh. And it still feels pretty fresh because it's very different from the games that are coming out in this market. Let's do some final thoughts. Do you want to begin?
I can begin. I really like this game. I like the puzzle of trying to get the right colored cubes for my missions, trying to find out the perfect timing to do an action, For example, if I really want to trigger this row, wow, yellow has really monopolized this time. But
only yellow player.
But maybe I have a chance now to trigger the reset phase, and that means I can see on the state of the board that that's really good for me right now for some reason. Then I have to decide what is the best for me. So I think it's interesting decision making, but not a very complex game. So I'm going to rate this a 7. I think it's a good game.
I really like Stevens. Stevens gives me a lot of good feelings while I play it. It is just very clever. And these designers also did Lata last year, which we really liked.
Yes.
And that also was a game with very simple systems, but made in a very clever and unique way. And I think this is the same. It's a bigger game, and it is like a more involved game, but like there's clever systems. Everything you do is fun. This is one of those. I don't think it's going to be like the best game of all time. I don't know if somebody's going to talk about it in 10 years, but we don't care because there's games. We like games. And I really like this game. I think for me, this is going to land on a 7.5. A very good game that I am hoping to play again because it's fun. Let's do the paddle. Are you ready?
Not yet.
Not
I
yet.
have to find my paddle.
Finding the paddle.
I found it.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Boom!
It's gonna be a double keep.
Double keep.
Really enjoyed it.
Very clever game. Really enjoyed my time with it, and we hope to play it again. And that's the end of this video. Subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Johannes.
I'm Cinema.
And you've been subscribing to Board Gaming Ramblings, and bye-bye.